Howdy YouTube family, it's Bolt CRNA coming to you again with another day's topic. So it is coming up on the new year and I figured we could talk a little bit about 2019, what happened in 2019 and what I'm planning to do different in the future and what I'm hoping to do in 2020. So let's get into it. 2019, what a great year. The year I graduated CRNA school. It was the year that I looked forward to for many years. For about 10 or 12 years, I looked forward to the year 2019 when I planned to graduate. Finally came, it's here. Now I'm older and hopefully a little bit wiser, but now I get to reflect back on the year and previous years and think about what I would have done different, if I would have done anything different, and what I'm hoping to achieve in my next year, 2020, which will be my first year as a CRNA. So this past year, 2019, it's been a whirlwind. It essentially was the final year of CRNA school where it culminated in the summertime of just extreme fatigue. I was so worn out. I had been studying for boards for a whole year. I'd been in clinicals for 3 years or 2.5, something like that years. So exhausted, so ready to hit that finish line. And then you finally hit the finish line and you finally pass board shortly after. And you look back and you realize, wow, all that is over with now. You're in a whole different book, not even a chapter of your life. You've started a whole new book of your life. And now you have to pick it up, where you left off, pick up the things that are left and realize where you're going to go from here. So obviously the first step is to get your first job, and which I already had. Most students already have their job lined up before graduation, but then you actually have to move to the job, get set up there, credentialed, and get working. And then that is a whole new level of anxiety. When you get started with your new job, you're finally on your own, working underneath your own license. That's a huge adjustment, and you also have to reframe your mind at the way you approach situations because you're no longer the student anymore. You are, I don't want to use the word master, but as Star Wars would, quote, you are no longer the student, but now the master. So you're expected to take up that kind of mantle and be able to run with it, and it can be difficult to transition your mind into that mode. So would I have done anything different in 2019? Well, actually, I am actually leaving the job that I'm at in a couple months, maybe I guess early to late February, somewhere in that time frame. I'm going to be leaving the position that I'm currently in, and I'm going to be moving. I'm within a couple hours of the Bay Area, but I'm actually going to be moving to the Bay Area, and there's a couple positions there that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to work 2 different positions per diem, and then just kind of feel out the area, decide if I like it there or not, decide if I want to set down roots and stay permanently or not, and then go from there. I can't discuss the 2 positions I'm going to be at, but I can say they're both really awesome positions. They're both highly sought after positions, and I'm very lucky and blessed to have been given the opportunity to work with them. And they both would like me to do full time with them. So I may do full time with one and do per diem with the other, or vice versa. You never know what will end up happening. I may stay per diem with both. So essentially what I would do different in 2019 after graduation is very carefully decide where I want to live and if I could see myself living there long term or not. Because where I'm currently at is just not somewhere professionally and personally that I find fulfilling and that I would want to stay at longer than how long I've been here. So yeah, that would be something I would do differently, is maybe make that decision beforehand while I was still in school, if I was cognitive enough to be able to figure out exactly where I wanted to be. It's funny how things change. You get into practice and you start working, and suddenly things that you thought weren't going to be as important to you, or things you could compromise on, you realize in the day-to-day of it, you don't want to compromise, or you don't want to give up, and so you have to leave your practice and move somewhere else. And I didn't want to do that. So that's maybe the one big thing in 2019 that I would do differently. Now on to 2020. So as I told you, big changes. I've got 2 new big jobs coming up that I'm really excited about. I'm excited to give my all to these 2 other practices and to see where I grow professionally in those roles. And beyond that, I also am going to just enjoy living in the Bay Area, which I lived there once before. I lived there when I was travel nurse, and I worked at one of the hospitals there in the area and really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to being near my old friends there, and I had a church that I really liked there, and there's always tons of stuff to do, interesting people to meet, people in the tech industry, and people who are working on cutting edge stuff that affects the future of our technology, what we hold in our hands, our iPhones and things like that. It's always exciting to have friends who work at Apple and Google and Facebook in these areas, and you hear about new projects people are working on, and just new stuff happening all the time there. And as a young person who enjoys technology and the future and things like that, I really find that area to be fulfilling and enjoyable. So we'll see where we go from there. Yes, of course it's expensive to live there. The houses are very expensive. Traffic kind of sucks, but it's something that you can adjust, you can deal with depending on the time of day and what time you're driving. You can make compromises so that it works. Tons of people who live there make those compromises all the time. So we'll see. It doesn't mean that I'm going to live there forever and buy my home there and raise my kids there or anything like that. But for now, that's going to be where I'm aiming. The other good thing about the Bay Area is I think I'm going to have more opportunities to do more social media stuff, more YouTube stuff, Instagram stuff. I'm going to be able to dedicate more time to getting involved with you guys. The last few years while I've been in school, it's been so hectic. I've been able to barely do little things here or there, videos every couple weeks, and maybe a couple Instagram pictures a week at my best. But hopefully in the future I can dedicate more time. That's my plan, is to dedicate more time and energy into connecting with you guys, growing this channel, and continuing to do stuff on Instagram so that you can see my day-to-day and interact with all of you guys who are interested in the CRNA field and want to ask me about it, or just kind of see what my day is like. I might start doing more vlog type stuff, so you see more of like a lifestyle stuff of CRNAs. I might start talking more about general medicine and nursing topics and not just anesthesia all the time. When you're in anesthesia training, all you're thinking about is anesthesia all the time because that's what's on your plate all the time. But now I'm able to expand my horizons a little bit more and maybe think outside the box and talk about more topics that are in healthcare in general and stuff, and not just anesthesia. Actually, what do you guys think? What would you like me to talk about in the healthcare field that's not just CRNA school? Eventually you hear enough about CRNA school and you don't need to hear anymore. So there's other things that I can talk about, and I'm more three-dimensional than just CRNA school. So there's lots of stuff I can do and talk about with you guys. So that is my reflection on 2019 and my anticipation of 2020 and my goals. I guess you could call these kind of like my New Year's goals, although I never do New Year's resolutions, but if I was to do one, this would be it, I guess. So this is, I guess, my New Year's resolution video. What are you guys' New Year's resolutions? What are you hoping to do? I know a lot of you are trying to get into CRNA school. Maybe that'll be the year, this will be the year you do that. Hopefully this will be your year. If you're getting ready to graduate, I'm sure you're excited about that. Some people are on the weight loss journey, and some people are on a professional journey. So just let me know. Some people are in the personal journey. They want to get married this year or have kids this year or something like that. So let me know in the comments below what your resolutions are for 2020, and let me know what you would like me to do with the channel and anything different about what I'm doing and have been doing in the past for 2020. And that's Bolt out.